Yo, what is up, YouTube? Today we are going to cover the Capricorn Cup guide. We have a Capricorn CM coming up in, I am not exactly too sure, middle of February. So you guys got like 2.5 weeks to prepare. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you find this guide helpful to you. Also, make sure you use code MAMBO for 10% off your gamer subs. Let's get right into it. We'll try and make this pretty quick. But first, let's get a word from our video sponsor. Okay, so we all know how Wuthering Waves have absolutely cooked with Ameth's design, right? Pretty girl with a crazy mech. Now, what would happen if Kuro Games dares to ask, what if we take the best of 3 worlds? Enter Rosetta Arete, a new frame in Punishing Grey Raven's new feature update, Withering Crown, dropping February 3rd. Rosetta Arete has 2 forms, a humanoid form equipped with giant mecha thrusters. Okay, so we got the pretty girl, we got the crazy mech, but she also has another form that is almost guaranteed to pique your interest. A half girl, half horse, otherwise known as a centaur, but you know, horses are pretty cool. Her humanoid form focuses on ranged combat, and her thrusters make her extremely agile. And when she changes into her horse form, those legs aren't just for show. Rosetta Arete has increased movement speed and a massive halberd that can rend the earth and cleave through space like a hot knife through butter. Players will be constantly engaged with choosing the best form to fit the combat scenario, giving Rosetta a dynamic, skill-intensive playstyle. On top of this, Rosetta Arete will be the first to debut PGR's new class, the Breaker, which can break the enemy's extra damage reduction and receive combat buffs on triggering perfect dodges. This new class is sure to be an exciting new component for team building, making Rosetta Arete a very good target for new and returning players. Download PGR now, available on mobile, and also available soon on Steam. It's free to play, and when you sign in and complete missions, there are a bunch of free rewards, including coatings, in-game items, and an S-rank character selector. Thank you, Kuro Games, for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into it. Capricorn Cup Guide. This is the track, these are the green skills that are going to be active for it. You're going to see left-handed, Winter Runner, Standard Distance, Chukyo Racecourse, Wet Conditions, and Snowy Days. These are very different green skills than what we are used to. Left-handed, you're probably going to get from Suzuka, right? Either by running her as a character, which not going to be very strong, just spoiler alert, or by running her cards, which also aren't very good. I don't really foresee left-handed being used a lot here. Winter Runner is also going to be pretty rare. I just don't really think a lot of these green skills are going to be finding a lot of use, besides maybe Wet Conditions, okay? But these are the green skills. 1,200 meters. It is a short distance track, or rather a sprint in global version. It is counterclockwise, again, left-handed. It is soft, and winter, there is snow, but that doesn't matter. The condition of it being soft matters. Moving on, we have the track. So let's take a look at this track really quickly here. Again, 1,200 meters on Chukyo Racecourse. It's also the Takamatsunomiya Kinen if you're looking to run practice races. So very, very short. Notice this big downhill. This incredibly large downhill is like a huge, it's more than 50% of the track. What does this mean? This means wit is going to be incredibly important because during downhills, wit allows you to get a speed boost, right? During it. As well, I believe like energy and stamina save, but the more important thing is that you want speed boost during this huge downhill. It ends right here, and then you get into an uphill, and then you get to a straight. Okay, so that downhill is going to be pretty relevant for skills, but besides that, what you also want to notice is that the late race, the acceleration zone, is going to be as soon as you start on a straight. Okay, so straightaway spurt is pretty good, right? Like as an end closer. Unfortunately, this is a sprint, so it's going to be hard to make up for distance if you're already far behind. But that is something to consider, is that the straightaway is exactly where the acceleration zone starts. Taking a look at this chart, you can see the skills that we are suggesting here per where you are on the track. Groundwork is going to be very good as well, right? For taking the lead. If you're a pace chaser, I believe taking the lead is a front runner only skill, but groundwork is going to be very nice, and pace chasers are going to be very strong in the CM. You might want to consider getting 2 movement skills. These are the 3 ones that are available. You want 2 ideally, but it's always going to be very, very extra. 777s is going to activate pretty much on the 50% mark of this track. So if you're looking to like trigger Christmas Ogre with it or Summer Marzensky, it's not going to be that useful. In the case of Christmas Ogre, it's going to be one of her 3 heals, very likely. These are the acceleration skills, okay? Notice that a lot of them are on straights. Rushing Gale is an acceleration zone on straights. Sprinting Gear is on straight. Plan X is like the second half of the mid race, so likely it's going to do very well. And Meticulous Measures, funny enough, if you look at the skill list, it has acceleration on it, even though it's labeled as a lane movement skill. This is pretty good, right? It's a 20 acceleration right there. This is going to be during the mid race, your acceleration and lane movement speed will slightly increase. And so it has a chance of doing very well. It's only costs 140, so it's very, very cheap. Definitely consider using it. Acceleration is going to be the name of this game, of this CM. The more acceleration you can get, the better, because it's going to be very hard for a lot of Umas to reach top speed. Redshift is going to be okay. Redshift is Maruzensky's unique skill. It's going to be okay for late surgers and end closers, not really for anyone else. Shooting for Victory, also something to consider for late surgers and end closers, not on Taiki's Shuttle and not for pace chasers. Finally, you have Straightaway Spurt, is obviously going to be very good. Some unique skills that are also going to be very good is Victoria por Plancha. Victoria por Plancha is El Condor Pasa's unique skill, and this unique skill is just incredible. If you take a look at it, Victoria por Plancha activates on a straight. Victoria por Plancha has, for El Condor Pasa, incredible acceleration skill, activates on the final straight. Very easy condition, but you have to be in top 2, which is kind of, contentious for sure. But that being said, you have an incredible reward. If you inherit it, you get 10 acceleration, and the condition is not too bad for Pace Chaser. Another acceleration skill that you want to consider, and this is going to be covered in the inherit section, Give Mummy a Hug. Give Mummy a Hug is Super Creek's the Halloween version, her unique skill, and it's going to make her incredibly strong if you're able to fix her aptitudes as well. For an inherit skill, it's also going to be very good. You might think that 10 acceleration, right, 10 centimeter per second square is like kind of whatever, but it is very good, this skill and Victoria per Plancha, because the conditions are so easy. Final straight for Super Creek is just B top 4. B top 4, and I guess Bashin difference in front. I believe that means there's another Uma at most 1 horse length ahead of you. So someone in front of you. Not too difficult at all. And very, very good. Very consistent. Okay. Sparkly Stardom as well is going to be a good skill. This is Smart Falcon. But it's not going to be very good inherit. Actually, it seems okay inherit it. But this is a skill. It might seem a little weird. But on this track, there is like one sliver, one small part of this mid-race that is considered a straight. And so considering that, this skill, which gives you acceleration, is going to be very good. Pretty much only on Smart Falcon. I don't think this is going to be that great as an inherent. I would probably just stick with Smart Falcon on this and not as an inherent. Besides that, though, you have Nimble Navigator head on, Ignited Spirit's Guts, Burning Spirit Power on your left, Give Mummy a Hug. Basically, Nimble Navigator is going to be good. I don't like getting or spending more points for No Stopping Me. If you want to do that, go ahead and try, but pretty much Nimble Navigator is where I would stop. Head on your left, all these RNG acceleration skills. This one's for Pace Chaser. This one is for Late Surger. They're going to be good to have. Again, the name of the game is to get as much acceleration as possible, and we're even resorting to using straightaway acceleration. That has a chance to activate early, but still, being able to activate here, the possibility of it is very, very strong. Also, worth noting that straightaway acceleration has a base cooldown of 30 seconds. So it can activate early. Remember, this straightaway starts at the very beginning of this track. So if it activates anywhere here, that's kind of like groundwork. That's kind of like taking the lead. That's still good. And then it'll cool down. And then you have this. So straightaway acceleration is also a very good acceleration skill that I would 100% suggest having. Besides that, though, let's move on, right? Just again here, note that there is a huge downhill and at the very end, an uphill. For ratings, for aptitude, you're not going to really want distance aptitude as much. Reason being is because distance aptitude affects your top speed. And again, we're not going to be able to reach top speed very often on this track. Acceleration is going to be the name of the game. Turf S is what you should aim for, but even then, I wouldn't say like, oh, you must have Turf S. It's going to give you an edge, 100%, but it's not something you must have. Style S is also something that will give you an edge as well. Having a style aptitude rating, S as an S, is going to give you more wit, which is going to allow you to take advantage of this incredible downhill, okay? Moving forward, you have no stat thresholds, none whatsoever, so don't worry about reaching certain stats, but these are the stats that we would recommend. Again, these are not like, oh, you need 1200 speed or you can't run this race. You need 1200 power, you can't run this race. You need 1200 wit. No, this is just saying this is the priority. With the cards that you have, let's say you're running 2 speed cards or 3 speed cards, whatever top speed you can get with that, run it, right? Same goes with wit. If you can take a look over here, we note that speed and wit are the most important stats in this track. Not only are they going to make very easy training scenarios, right? You're also just going to be able to take advantage of that incredible downhill, okay? So definitely, obviously, max out speed. Wit is very important. Power is something I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of room to maximize. Maybe not hit max, but you're going to have a lot of room to hit high power because you don't need to build stamina, like at all. It's very, very easy. This career, this raising scenario, especially if your Umas do not want to run like Tenosho Spring, Arima Kinen, long distance tracks essentially. Okay. But yeah, again, very low stamina requirements. Cap that speed, get high wit, try and get high power next, and everything else doesn't really matter too much. Let's talk about the Umas that are strong, and let's talk a little bit just in brief the strategies, like in broad context, okay? Pace chasers are going to be very strong. They're going to be the meta Umas. Why are they going to be very strong? Is because they have the most access to acceleration. Also, they don't give away position like an end closer does on a short distance track. And because front runners are going to be pretty bad, they're not going to have angling and scheming because the acceleration zone starts on a straight. You can run a late surge or an end closer, that's fine, but pace chasers are going to find themselves very strong because they have the consistent forms of acceleration, that in the form of El Condor Pasa and Super Creek Halloween Edition. Their unique skill acceleration inherits are going to be very, very strong, okay? They have the most consistent accelerations, and that means if you're running pace chasers, you definitely want to be looking for these parents, okay, to inherit. You could always look for parents on chronogenesis.net friend search, okay? You could always take a look exactly on this. I believe I have a video covering all the tools for Umamusume. Maybe you'll see a link above it with my editor, hopefully. But yes, you want these 2 skills. Ideally both. I would try and get both, if not just at least one. Besides that though, right? End closers do have straightaway spurt, right? But it comes in just a little too late. I think they do give up position that is very valuable to pace chasers. Fronts and runaways are not going to be very strong because angling and scheming is just not existent. Before moving on, I will say that there are basically no debuffers or viability for debuffers in terms of stamina. Karen-chan is going to be very good, which we'll talk about, but you're pretty much going to want to run 3 aces. And so even runaway Suzuka as like a rabbit or like a support for your front runner or your pace chaser is going to be very risky because this CM, this race, is very gambly, right? Pretty much anyone can win as long as they build the stats and they put a bunch of acceleration skills, and so you want the most chances to win, and it's not going to be easy to just like dominate everyone. Pretty much anyone can be built to win this race. What about the decks? The decks are going to be very speed and wit focused. Okay, you're going to want to run 2, maybe 3 speed cards, and the rest are going to be wit. If you are running an Umamusume that has Tennosho Spring or Arima Kinen, right? And they're going to want that stamina. So notable ones are like Super Creek, Nadita Taishin, right? Obviously Ogre Cap, right? If you're running these Umas with pretty long distance tracks that they need to clear in their career and you need that stamina, definitely try and run the Rico. She also gives Rushing Gale, which is a very key acceleration skill on this racetrack yet again. Frontrunner is Pace Chaser. They're all going to look around the same. You want speed, you want wit, you want power sparks, okay? Stamina is very, very negligible. You basically don't have to touch it at all, and you'll be able to survive anytime you run this track. Besides that, let's take a look at the Umas that you're going to see the most, the meta Umas. 1 or 2 star Umas, we're going to go over through this quick. Pace Chaser is going to be very strong. Sakura Bakshino finally has her time to shine. You have Air Groove as well with a very good final corner velocity skill. El Condor Pasa, very good. However, very difficult to make. El Condor Pasa, not the fantasy edition, but the original, is going to ideally be front, but she is going to find a lot of trouble getting front and sprint distance aptitudes up. So runner as a pace, build up this aptitude for sprint. Unfortunately, F rating can only go up to B on initial career start. So you are dependent on getting an inherit of sprint. So that's the problem. Any of these Umas with these bad purple marks are going to be like considered hard to raise, either by their aptitude or by their career. It's very notable that El Condor Pasa wants to run, I believe in Arima Kinen chat, she wants to run a long distance track, and so you might have to build more stamina than you would otherwise want to, okay? So she is very good, especially if you could get her going. Her unique skill is one of the best on this track, but she is difficult to race. Arima Kinen, thank you chat. Okay, besides that, Maya no Top Gun. I would also say she's pretty hard. And difficult because she also has a career that just puts her on a lot of long distance tracks. King Halo also is very, very viable, very good, right? These are typically the Umas you're going to see a lot of is Sakura Bakshino, because absolutely everyone has Sakura Bakshino. Air Groove and King Halo is what I would expect you to run into the most, because pretty much everyone has them. The 3-star Umas. What would you see from people running 3-star Umas? You're going to see a lot of Karen-chan. Karen-chan is going to be incredible because she is basically built for these sprints. She gets speed and acceleration very much when she overtakes someone and like somewhere halfway in the track, right? Very easy to activate. Be second, third, or fourth. You take over someone, you get speed. Sometimes you get carryover acceleration, and it's just very good. You also get Meticulous Measures, which is the lane movement skill that also gives acceleration. You also get Adored by All. Probably don't want the gold skill, because if you look at it, you tank their speed by 25, but over here, you tank their speed by 20. So don't get the gold skill, get the Intimidate, and tanking everyone's speed that are behind you is incredible in a sprint distance track. Definitely think that Karen-chan is going to be very, very meta, very common, because a lot of players joined at the time that Karen-chan was available to pull for as well. Hishi Akebono is also a very notable Uma as well. Let's talk about Hishi Akebono very quickly. Akebono, her unique skill is also going to give you speed and acceleration pretty much at the same exact time as Karen-chan will. And her unique skill does require you to have less health. And on Hishi Akebono, I think that would be easy to do. I wouldn't say it's very easy to inherit, and so I wouldn't suggest it. But Hishi Akebono, I think, should be pretty good or rather the efficacy of her skill will be preserved and be very good. Meticulous Measures is also something she has, which is the very cheap lane movement skill. That's also an acceleration. You also have Tactical Twerk. I don't think is that gonna be that great, but Intimidate. You have Intimidate, right? Which is incredible. Again, Intimidate, Kaden-chan skill, incredible skill for any sprint distance track. So, Hisha Akebono is gonna be good. Kaden-chan is gonna be very good, and you're also gonna possibly see as like the only front runner, Smart Falcon. This is gonna be kind of hard to do though, because Smart Falcon, I believe, first of all, she has G turf rating or E turf rating. She has B sprint, so you at least need one spark for sprint, right? And turf rating is gonna be hard to get, but if you do make it, right? If you do make it, you have a lane movement skill at the early game. You have an incredible unique skill, right? This is the only reason why you would run her. And she wants to be a front runner. That's fine. This is like the only viable front runner in this track right now, Smart Falcon. But besides that, I think this should be pretty straightforward. Just note that a lot of Umas are going to require a lot of time, a lot of trials to try and get them able to race with a respectable stat line, because Arima Kinen is Ogre Cap's career, and so she's going to be kind of hard to raise. Narita Taishin has bad aptitudes, and she has a bad career, but she has Encroaching Shadow, right? And so she could be very, very strong. You're going to see some dedicated players here and there run these Umas, but it's going to be very seldom few. You're going to see mostly these Umas. Moving on, the Inherits. Again, Victoria Perplancha, give mommy a hug. If you're running a Pace Chaser, look for parents on Chronogenesis. Look for parents on Uma.moa, whatever site. Get these skills. You want both of them, ideally, right? If not, at least one. If you're running a late surge or end closer, run these skills as well, Redshift and the Shooting for Victory. This is extra velocity, end game velocity here, and pretty much end game velocity as well for Narita Bren, and Simply Rudolph is end game velocity as well. Pretty much usable on anyone that is viable on this track. If you're wondering and curious about my team, it is not going to be down here, apparently, but it's going to be Haru Urara, it's going to be King Halo, and it's going to be, I believe, Akebono, right, chat? I believe. Akebono doesn't really get run much, so I'm thinking of running her. We have Haru Urara, which I already have built for this CM. I have the red shift, right, because I'm trying to build a late surger, and you have a bunch of acceleration, turbo sprint, slick surge, straightaway acceleration. This is what the idea is. Maybe you can't do this because maybe you don't really have the cards for it. That's fine. This is just something to consider. Okay, King Halo, because she's good on these type of tracks. Also, she's a really good friend of Haru Urara. And I believe we are doing Heishi Akebono because you don't really get to see her race that often. That's gonna be it for the Capricorn Cup. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.